Okay, good morning and welcome to our meeting this morning, our webinar with Jobs for North Carolina Graduates in Communities and Schools. We're very glad to have Virginia Haynes here with us to describe for us this program and how we might partner in this project to help serve the students across North Carolina. And just a couple of reminders to keep your microphones on mute. If we end up having anybody on the telephone, we ask that you don't put your telephone on hold so we don't listen to your hold music. And we really appreciate everybody being here today. I'll keep an eye on the chat. So if questions come to mind as we're moving forward, please throw those in the chat. And I'll do my best to get those for everybody. And we'll get those questions answered. Also want to remind you that if you're using one of your AI note takers, we will be disabling that because that's something we don't practice in the system office. So we will turn that off if there's anybody with an AI note taker. So thank you for understanding and your patience. Without further ado, that's enough about logistics. We'll turn the mic and the screen over to Virginia Haynes. So Virginia, welcome this morning.
Thanks, Dr. Kelly, and thank you all so much for your time this morning. I'm Virginia Haynes, the State Director for Jobs for North Carolina Graduates. And the other stranger that you may see on the call is Jill Cox, who is the President and CEO of Communities and Schools of North Carolina. She is joining us to make sure I don't leave anything out. Just kidding. As a support person and to hopefully get to know you all as well. So I'm going to share screen and let some slides help direct us through the conversation. So this is a introduction to folks at the North Carolina Community College System who do not know about Jobs for North Carolina Graduates already. However, I'm really confident that several of you already do. So Communities and Schools of North Carolina is a family of programs that support the students and youth and their families across North Carolina and Communities and Schools National. And at Communities and Schools of North Carolina, there are actually 3 programs. One is the traditional Communities and Schools model of support that is located in about 35, 36 schools across North Carolina. 18 of them are run out of the Raleigh office, and then you may have an independent community schools program in your community college footprint. We also have a program called Reentry to Resilience that works with the young people who are in youth detention facilities to help them be really successful when they exit and come out of that system so that they can go back into school or the workplace. And then the third program is the JNCG program, Jobs for North Carolina Graduates. And Communities in Schools and our programs operate with the ABC Q time plus P pattern, which is to develop good relationships with students, to first of all increase their attendance, which if you all are watching the news at all, you know that that is a huge issue in North Carolina education right now, to improve their behavior, to enhance their coursework so that they are college and career ready, and then to engage parents on a more one-to-one basis, especially to me at the high school level, where sometimes the parents are a little bit removed. So it's really great to do that. And we want to make sure the students are graduate and that they succeed in life. So Jobs for North Carolina Graduates works under the umbrella of Communities and Schools, but also under the umbrella of Jobs for America's Graduates, which is a 40+ program that began in Delaware and is now located in 34 states and the Virgin Islands. And during that rich history of 41 years, they've served over 1.6 million students to help them be successful in education, employment, and life. For the last couple of years, I just wanted to share this quick data with you. JAG has standards that we strive to meet, and that is to have a graduation rate at 90%, to have an employment rate of 60%, a full-time employment for those employed at 75%, a positive outcome at 75, a full-time employment at 60, and to have some kind of industry standard credential or be enrolled in post-secondary at a rate of 35%. We track that by following these young people for 12 months after they graduate, providing support with job applications, college applications, career readiness, what should I wear my first day of work kind of questions, and also some adulting questions like I heard this week, where do you go in our county to get the power cut on? So it is really amazing, the outcome. Jobs for North Carolina graduates began in 2016 when then Governor McCrory heard about the success of the program and wanted to bring it to North Carolina. And under the Cooper administration, CISNC partnered with the Department of Commerce to bring it to 7 locations, which was one at each economic development zone, to pilot it. We're now 13 programs strong. So this is a map, and I'll leave the slide up for a second so you can see your own footprint of where we're currently located across North Carolina. We're not quite Murphy to Manteo, but we're getting there. Just seeing tremendous results. So these goals that we follow are super important to us. And for the past 3 years, the Jobs for North Carolina Graduates program has met all of those 6 goals. And this one is possibly the most proud. It's the number of students that we've served and the graduation rate. So for the past 3 years, we've had 100% graduation rate when the state is averaging 86% graduation rate. These are students who sometimes select the class and sometimes are encouraged to take it. This is what's covered in the classes, and what you all know probably better than most educational facilities is that these are the skills that local employers are looking for. We do things like interest inventories, we do job attainment skills, job survival skills, having to explain what an HR department is to a 18-year-old, basic skill competencies, making sure that they're well prepared for the workplace. There's a leadership component. All of our students have to learn Robert's Rules of Order, hoping in the future that they'll be contributing citizens in their local communities. And then some personal skills that will help them develop into great adults. Some of the students also stay with us a little longer and explore further competencies that help them be even better prepared for the future. Each year we have a Jumpstart Jobs Week, and this fall, several of you all were featured in our classrooms during these weeks. In our 13 sites, these are the companies that came in to talk with our students one-on-one, and you can see that several community colleges were represented in our classrooms. This is just so many great pictures of our kids hearing speakers, getting to actually experience stuff, getting to hear firsthand or touch base with a future career. We have some upcoming events. We'll be at Randolph Community College just in a little less than 2 weeks, having our 5th annual Leadership and Career Development Conference. This will be a time when our students get to showcase themselves, much like a DECA or FHA conference. We don't have state elected officers, but we have career preparation, public speaking, creative decision making, all those typical kind of competitions. We'll have a spring Jumpstart Jobs Week where we would invite businesses, post-secondary institutions, professionals into the classroom to speak about their careers and the career opportunities. The winners from that state competition will actually get to travel for free to St. Louis to compete on the national level. And then June 1st, we start our follow-up with this year's graduates, which with our new sites, we're bouncing on the number 500. So there's lots of ways community folks and community colleges could get involved. We do invite you into the classrooms. You can offer campus or college tours or company tours. We have lots of our kids now involved in internship programs and apprentice programs through local community colleges. We've got an opportunity to come in to do mock interviewing, and then we always will accept some branded items to promote in the classroom. I want to tell you all that the students that we're dealing with have barriers. In fact, they're averaging about 12 barriers per student. Some of those barriers are academic. And for this year's senior class who started high school at COVID, those barriers are huge because their GPAs are not where a traditional group of seniors would be. They got behind. There's no other way to say it when they started high school at home. Maybe with a device, maybe not, maybe with internet accessibility, maybe not. So they have most of the cases done credit recovery to get those credits back so they can graduate, but that doesn't help the GPA. And so they're in a little bit behind. Some of our students have socioeconomic barriers. Their parents didn't graduate from high school. They will be first-time college goers. Some of them have made their own personal bad decisions, been in trouble, teen pregnancy, substance abuse, all that kind of stuff. Some are just shy and are not comfortable talking to strangers or walking up and introducing themselves to a potential employer. So we cover all those skills and try to eliminate as many of those barriers as we can. I will say that one of the beauties of this program, because I'm a former high school teacher and principal, is that the students leave with a plan. And I handed diplomas to young people when I was principal who didn't have a plan, and I was worried to death for them. But all of our kids have a plan, and they all know it can change. They actually do an activity where a unforeseen thing happens and the plan has to change, and they have to back up and change. Many of our students, because of their family background, have never thought about going to college. And so the opportunity to know what you all offer, what four-year universities offer, and a path to get there is something that makes it more successful for all of our students. We've got kids who never thought they wanted to go to college who are now enrolled. A young lady day before yesterday at Purnell Sweat in Lumberton told me that she wanted to be a dentist, and that she's going to go to the community college there and then go to UNCP and then go to East Carolina Dental School. She's got a plan and a direct route to get her to that dream job. So I want to give a second here to see if we have any questions, Dr. Kelly, and then I can talk more. I love this. I can talk about it all day.
You bet, Virginia, no problem. We do have one comment in the chat. It's so Rebecca, I can't tell where you're from, what college you're at, but she says that they have a career coach at the high school that works very closely with the JAG program, and they're at Wilkes Community College. So what's your plans to expand to other schools and counties. And then my follow-up question to that would be is if we have colleges that currently are not engaged with this program, how would they get involved?
Awesome, awesome. Well, as soon as I win that lottery, Dr. Kelly, we're going to be at every high school in North Carolina because I believe so passionately that it's what's needed for our students. Just over the past 7 years, some of the stories of the dreams the students have, but no knowledge of how to get there. It's almost heart-wrenching in some of the classrooms. And you all are educators. You all know that I'm talking to the choir here because you've heard it before. So right now we're on a slow growth pattern because our main goal is to make sure that we have sustainability. Because of that follow-up year, we do not want to put a program in and then budget cuts, loss of ESSER funding or whatever, all of a sudden we leave 45 or 50 kids without that follow-up because the program's not continued. The follow-up is so key. In fact, you all probably have heard about hundreds of programs that will come into high schools and save them. They'll do resume building, they'll do credit recovery, they'll do all this stuff, but we offer an academic credit. So there is student accountability. If the student doesn't do the work in the classroom, they don't get the credit. So it's really that element, that student accountability and the follow-up year is what leads to the success of the program. The competencies are there. They're mastered. It's fantastic. As far as any of the community colleges in our current footprint that have not connected with their JNCG people, I can share email addresses. The slide deck has my email on the last slide. So when I share that with Dr. Kelly and he forwards it out, you can be able to contact me. There is anytime you hear about a grant, we got the fabulous grant writers at Communities in Schools because I want us to expand. But it is an expensive program. I'm going to be totally honest with you. You're talking about a full-time teacher with benefits, salary, et cetera, et cetera. You're talking about a massive database that keeps all this information in it, training, the free travel for the students. It's expensive, but it is something that we want to provide in as many sites as possible. We are very fortunate in Randolph County that Toyota is completely paying for 2 of the sites. That being the center location of North Carolina is the reason we're going there for our competition, because it's a long way from Jackson and Duplin County to get to someplace. But we're also going there because of the huge support from Toyota, because they had a connection with Jag, Kentucky, and said when they brought the battery factory that they wanted something here as well.
So to kind of summarize is as funding becomes available, then expansion will go into new counties and new schools. And that if you're in that map that we showed previously on the slide, if you're in one of those counties that JAG is already there, then we would suggest that maybe you try to connect with Virginia and see how you can go ahead and partner and maximize, especially with career coaches like like Rebecca said that they're doing there at Wilkes. And so Peter had a question from Nash Community College. He wants more information. So that's the best way to get more information is to email Virginia. Once I send out those slides, you'll have her contact information. And then Jay has a question here. Is there a partnership relationship with the district CTE programs? And if so, what does that look like? Jay, could you unmute and expound on that question a little more?
Yes, just making sure that we're not reinventing the wheel, but also not having all of these like segmented services. Is there a collaboration with this approach?
Hi, so thank you so much for asking about that. We have a great partnership with the CTE programs in each of our schools, because if you're familiar with the career technical education programs, they have a tremendous amount of skills they have to teach in each of those classes. Uh, I don't even know how the nursing program covers all the skills they have to teach. That's the one that was next door to me that I'm very familiar with, and they don't often have time to spend a week on a resume or do a full let everybody do a mock interview, because they've got so many skills to cover. So we really work in close partnership, and we also help each other out on field trips. We tag along with theirs and they tag along with ours. We took a whole group of CTE kids with the JNCG kids to the Western North Carolina Job Fair that occurred in the fall, and we'll do that again in April when they host that again. It'll be busloads of kids together. So we're there. We have a great partnership with CTE, and they recognize that we can provide those soft skills because we have time in the curriculum when they touch on it, but they've got too much hands-on skills to cover.
Thank you.
You're very
Thanks.
welcome.
Thanks, Jay, for that question. Thanks, Virginia. Do we have any other questions or comments? Besides Wilkes, are there other colleges that are already working closely with their JAG representatives or teachers at their local high schools? And would you like to kind of share what that experience looks like? Hate to put you on the spot, Rebecca, but that might be something that would help other people envision what this looks like too, if you're willing to share a little bit.
Sure, I can share just a quick few minutes, but our career coach and our local JAG program are housed in the same school, and so they work and partner together oftentimes to just, sometimes it's nice, even though you have that amazing teacher, that high school instructor, to have guest speakers and kind of have a variety of people who are saying the same thing. And so oftentimes that's what our coaches, our career coach is doing, in partnership with the high school teacher to ensure that students are hearing the same message from a variety of professionals. And it might be just doing a career assessment that then can lead to more in-depth conversation that the teacher can have one-on-one. It could be exposure to college programs that we offer, and encouraging those visits to happen, especially helping with students as they're developing those plans and creating those, career and academic professional plans, what that looks like. Some of our students are already dually enrolled, so they may be taking a course that they're passionate about or exploring their career interest. And so that coach is helping to connect them to the resources that they would need. And so it's just that kind of, it's partnership where they're doing similar things. Sometimes it might feel duplicative, but it's also reiterating the same important things that students need to hear. And so it's just providing another caring adult in their corner that's given the same information, but maybe in a different way, but also connecting to the community college, as their local connector of resources and support.
Thank you so much. And I was going to mention, because you all are educators, you already know this, the guidance counselors across the state are overwhelmed. And so the idea of helping 200 seniors do the FAFSA form one at a time is really not an option, because they've got way too many social, emotional things going on in the school. But if they or the college and career coach can come in and do 20 at one time in one classroom, because we can do that. We can change our schedule and allow them to come in and do that at one time. And On the old FAFSA, just the student seeing that last page that said 0 contribution by a parent was enough to get them excited about going on to post-secondary. So it's really a great partnership with so many aspects of the school, so many contacts with the community college and employment. We're going to have more kids doing internships and apprenticeships this year than we've ever had before. And that's because of the good relationships with the community college that we've established in certain areas.
Any other questions or highlights or comments or encouraging words? It is Friday. I think we all need some encouraging words now at the end of the week that anybody would like to share. See, Emily Balden says that we don't have a career coach in the school where JAG is located, but our recruitment enrollment advisor is well connected to the teachers and coaches there and has folded them into college communications. So thank you, Emily, for sharing that partnership and how you guys are working things there at your institution. Any other thoughts or questions or comments? I think I'm supposed to give it a full 10 seconds is what my friend Dr. Lane Friedman has told me. Well, Virginia, any closing comments?
No, I just really appreciate your time, especially on a Friday morning, and Dr. Kelly for setting this up and letting us do this. We have wonderful students, and some of them are the top in their class, but some are going to be good contributing members of society and go through a community college to get there. And the more we can let people know about our program and the more we can share about your programs with our students, it just helps them move forward. And I really appreciate your time and for joining us. And I'm an email away for questions.
Well, while I'm making some closing comments here, Virginia, could you just go ahead and type your email in the chat so that way people will go ahead and have that right away? And then, friends, as soon as Virginia sends me those slides and we get the recording posted, I'll send that out to everyone so that you will have that to trigger you to remember what we discussed and what we talked about. Virginia will be more than willing to have conversations with you about how you can improve your partnership and advocate for you maybe being the next location when she wins the lottery and gets more money. So thank you, everybody, for your time this morning. Thank you for everything you do to serve our students across the state. And we hope you have a great, safe, and wonderful weekend, everyone. You take care now. Bye-bye.
Dr. Kelly,